Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi, and I know a lot of you out there in Packers Nation are just exhilarated right now because a fan favorite, or a man who has become a fan favorite in mock drafts and over the past few months, cornerback Josh Jackson has been selected as the 45th pick by the Green Bay Packers. Now, a lot of mocks showed, analysts were talking about this guy going to us in the first round yesterday, which I had my hesitations about, and we'll talk about that in a second. But at the very least, a lot of people predicted that Josh Jackson wasn't even going to be available in the second round. The Packers didn't need to trade up for him, and he just fell right into our laps. But let's talk about this guy just in case you're unfamiliar with him. Ran a 4.56 40-yard dash. He is... I think that hurt him, obviously, which allowed him to slide down into the second. His running time really wasn't that great. But the reason that I think he fell into the second round was just, and this is the problem that I had with him in selecting him for a first-round pick, is just because of his lack of experience. Now, that being said, last season, just to take a listen to this, 27 deflected passes, which led the nation, 8 picks, which led the nation. And so you look at that, and the problem is this a one-year wonder? Is this a fluke? Or is this a pattern, and is he going to progress to be even better? And that amount of uncertainty, in my opinion, led to him falling into the second round. So right off the bat, the fact that we didn't have to trade up for him, the fact that we got Jaire Alexander last night, and now in addition, we went with another cornerback to fill that need. I love this pick. I am beyond over the moon about this because I love the upside that this guy has. At the very least, I think he'll be a solid player. At the best, he's going to be a superstar because the value is there. And so, based off the video that I made a few weeks ago and the rankings that I did of the top 5 cornerbacks in the draft, we got 2 out of the 5. And so I think, and I was looking at what most analysts were saying too, and it's still the same thing, that Jackson and Alexander were usually there like number 2, 3, or 4. And so as a Packers fan, you got to be stoked that cornerback going into this draft was our number one glaring weakness on our team. And with the first 2 picks, we have effectively solved that problem. I don't think that we will potentially get another cornerback, maybe at the very, very end, since we still have 7 draft picks. But I'm very happy right now because if you look at that cornerback position, there's some things that stand out. And the first one is youth. And that's funny when you say that you have Devon House and Tramon Williams there as cornerbacks, but we know those guys are just stopgaps. They're not going to be there for very long. But right now, we have our backfield, Kevin King, Jaire Alexander, and Josh Jackson. That sounds phenomenal. That's a sexy lineup. So you have Alexander, who's a speedster, can play the slot, so he can play inside, he can play out. And then you have King and Jackson who can go on the outside and get some of those bigger guys. So the fact that all 3 of them already have roles, I see all 3 of them starting. Obviously, King going into his second year, and I loved what I saw the first year, so he's just going to progress even further. But now our secondary, they're all ball hawks, actually looks intimidating, and I'm kind of excited to see the Packers defense for the first time in a really long time. The fact that we don't have Capers there, Pettin should have a lot of fun with these new toys. He should be able to make a ton of schemes out of this. And so I am actually very much looking forward to a Packers defense already with the upgraded defensive line. I think this is a great pick. And so if I have to give this as an A, the fact, because again, his upside is so high, I'm just thrilled that we were able to get him at such a great value. But let me know what you think. Are you happy about Josh Jackson coming to the Packers? Let me know down in the comments below. You could always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossi Comedy, or Tom Grossi Comedy on the Twitter and the Instagram and the Facebook. Also on the Patreon, if you so desire. Always appreciate that. You can check out Packcast, which is this podcast at Packcast. We're on Soundcloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and here on the YouTube. But thank you so much for watching. If you would like to check out the full reaction to the draft I did, there are streams. I was streaming it up all night, and I'll also be streaming the final rounds tomorrow at noon. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi, and as always, go Pack Go.